What could happen negatively, and that we've seen happen in the past, is the government decides to seize those Bitcoin that are kind of centralized. And that would be bad in the sense that anybody who owns those ETFs would lose value. But it would be good as a cautionary tale of, here's why holding your own keys actually is good. And you were kind of misusing Bitcoin by wrapping it in an ETF. And then we have to look at the probabilities, right? What are the chances of the government actually doing that? I think that they're relatively low, but we have to be vigilant. Like Benjamin Franklin said, it's a republic if you can keep it. If we just take it for granted that the government is the government, or, that we're not involved in the policymaking process, then I think that increases the probability of the government trying to seize Bitcoin from ETFs. So we have to just stay engaged in the policy process and also stay engaged in the electoral process. We have some great pro-Bitcoin candidates that are running in this election. And essentially what we have to do is we have to punish the enemies of Bitcoin by making sure they don't get reelected, even if that means that they get replaced by someone who's agnostic about Bitcoin, right? As long as we're getting rid of the anti-Bitcoin politicians or mounting credible threats, right? So even if we lose the election, perhaps if we get close enough, they back off this issue, right? And they find another issue to try to advance their political career. What we want to make it is like attacking Bitcoin is basically in U.S. politics, they call it like the third rail of politics is what you get electrocuted on. So if you, for example, in the U.S., if you touch Social Security, because, it is a Ponzi scheme, but lots of people are depending on their check, then you lose the election. So we want to have that same approach of, you can criticize Bitcoin, but you're going to lose the next election. And then if you do it through executive action, then we're going to take you to court and you're going to lose in court. And so that's where, we have to be very active in assuming that our goal here is to have more liberty. If the goal is to live in a dystopia where, Bitcoin only exists on a black market, then we should be donating to Elizabeth Warren, right? We should be encouraging a crackdown on Bitcoin. I reject that as a goal. It might be a future outcome, but that would be a negative outcome. I think we should try to go in the opposite direction.